Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to thank you, to thank the House, and to thank...
Just hold it, Senator Boni. Senator Chirangei, what is your point of order? I thought this is simple procedural issues.
Mr. Speaker, under Standing Order number 91, and also, since this is our standing orders and it guides the business here, there is Standing Order number 223, and I'll need your ruling on two things, Mr. Speaker, sir, with all due respect. One, this report has been laid, and when you look at the Standing Order number 223, sub-article 7, it says, and it is not specific to the report that is about to be presented by the Senator, whichever the outcome, within 48 hours after the report has been laid, which has just been done, on the table of the Senate, the clerk shall publish the report in the parliamentary website and circulate all copies to all senators. It says laid, it does not say after the chairperson has moved. And the last one, Mr. Speaker, so that I give you opportunity, is this select committee report is just like any other report. Some of us, whatever the outcome, we might want, despite the constraint that the Article 181 section of the Constitution of Kenya, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, Standing Order number 80, and the third schedule on the procedure of removal through the committee process, might want at some point to amend the contents of the report, notwithstanding that I'm anticipating the report. So, Mr. Speaker, I need the ruling on that Standing Order number 223.7, and also whether such a report that is about to be tabled by the Senate Majority Whip, can it go full motion where members, after looking at it, can amend whatever the outcome of the report, whether it acquits the governor or some allegations have been substantiated. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chirangei, you're out of order. The procedure of removing a governor is very elaborate, and it springs from Section Article 181 of the Constitution. And if you read Article 181 of the Constitution, it actually mandates Parliament to come up with a law on the procedure to govern the removal from office of a governor. Now, if you go through the standing orders on the removal of a governor, it is very conclusive on how it starts, on how you table the report, and on how it ends. We shall abide by that procedure. Proceed, Chair, Special Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you, thank the House, thank colleagues, and thank all the stakeholders in this matter of the special committee that was considering and investigating the proposal for removal from office by way of impeachment of the Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru. Mr. Speaker, the committee considered and investigated and made a decision on charge 1 being nepotism, illegal appointments, unlawful dismissals, and usurpation of the constitutional and statutory functions of the county organs. It also made a decision, Mr. Speaker, on charge number 2 on incitement, bullying, vilification, and misleading campaigns against other leaders. Mr. Speaker, sir, charge number 3 was processed in the same manner, and it was about forceful entry into the assembly precincts and mobilization of unlawful riots against members of the assembly. And charge number 4 was violation of public finance management laws. Charge number 5, finally, Mr. Speaker, was misconduct relating to nomination of County Executive Committee members. Mr. Speaker, sir, after the consideration and investigations, observations were made, conclusions were made, and by a decision of one after member, all the 11 members agreed and recommended to this House in this report that the charges, Mr. Speaker, none of them was proved or substantiated. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, the chairperson of that special committee. Honorable Senators, as you may have noticed, the committee has found all the allegations against the governor not to be substantiated. Therefore, honorable members, the procedure to be followed in this case is that set out in section 33(6)(a) of the County Governments Act and Standing Order number 84A, both of which provide as follows. If the special committee reports that the particulars of any allegation against the governor have not been substantiated, further proceedings shall, underline, shall not be taken under this section in respect of that allegation. Therefore, what this means is that insofar as the matter of impeachment of the governor of Meru, that matter is now put to rest by that report. We cannot purport to debate the report. The report, the committee that came up with that report is a creature of this House. By extension, it is the Senate that came up with that report. Having pronounced ourselves through that report, the Senate now stands functus official. You cannot debate your own decision. And therefore, members, that rests the matter of impeachment of the Honorable Governor. However, I'm aware, indeed, we have wise men and women in this chamber who may give us comments and opinions for the future, not for purposes of the impeachment of Governor Kawira Mwangaza. So I will allow those wise men and women to comment, but do not, repeat, do not take your comments to that report, because those comments will not in any way affect the validity or otherwise of that report. Your comments will not even remove or add a comma of that report. We simply want to seek your wisdom going forward. Senators, for those who are willing to make their comments in that regard, I will be calling one after the other, and that exercise shall not be undertaken for more than 1 hour. Senator Ngugi Joe Joseph Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity, and I thank God that today I'm the first one to make a contribution.
Senator, maybe just before you proceed, I can see these quite a number of senators would wish to make some comments, and therefore we have to limit the time within which each one of us will speak. And I suggest we take 2 minutes per senator. Proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I think I'm going to observe time. I thank the committee for the decision that they made, because all of us, though we were not members, were following maybe on our screens. And we were able to say, and we agree, that most of those, or all of those allegations could not be proved. However, Mr. Speaker, because you have said that we can offer words of wisdom, and I thank God that the governor is here, I think most of the problems that are in Meru, Mr. Speaker, comes from maybe the way the governor carries out her business. She is a lady, an honorable lady, that has made great achievements, being the first woman to be elected on any other seat in Meru other than that of a woman rep, elected on an independent ticket, you know, flooring giants like Kiraito and Linturi. But Mr. Speaker, I think I want to advise the governor, all those achievements should not make power get into her head, Mr. Speaker, going forward. Her concerns were very valid about the Catholic Church occupying, for example, and collecting rent from county property, you know, leaders pressurizing her to employ their people. But Governor...
Senator Newton, you are veering off, and I'm afraid I may stop you there. So conclude your comments. Yeah. I was very clear when I said we are not going to debate the report. All I said is because we have men and women of wisdom going into the future, looking at the devolution. What will be your opinion? What will be your counsel?
Thank you for your guidance, Mr. Speaker. I think I'm going to be very brief. Advise the governor to then, you know, be very careful when she leads, not to address anything. I mean, boardrooms. That's why boardrooms are there, that we can address matters in boardrooms, Mr. Speaker, and that you don't have to say no, even if you mean no. You can say yes, Madam Governor, even when you mean no, and you do not have to pick quarrels with anybody. And Mr. Speaker, because I don't want to get into the matter again, I just want to say as generally that maybe in future we may consider maybe looking at impeachment, because it's a very conclusive matter, Mr. Speaker, that when you are impeached from one office, that you may not even occupy another public office. And I think, Mr. Speaker, maybe we may have to look at the rules of this House so that, Mr. Speaker,
your time is up, Senator. Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, mine is very brief. I will start by thanking the committee of 11 honorable members who have done a very wonderful job under the leadership of my neighbor, Senator Boni Khalwale, another name the bullfighter. We were watching them. They were very objective. And I must say that Honorable Khalwale is a medical doctor, but he sounded like a lawyer. The way he was prosecuting issues as the chair of the committee, it is something we need to thank you for that. And the committee worked long hours. Some of us stayed on the TV until 2 a.m. in the night watching the committee work. I think that is a good spirit that this Senate must cultivate. Mr. Speaker, without going into the substance of this report, I just want to say that maybe this is the time that we need to fast-track the impeachment bill so that some of the challenges we have noted, including the shortest time of impeaching the governor, we must define after how long should a governor be impeached, and many other challenges, including the constitutional threshold of impeaching a governor. Otherwise, thank you, the committee. I have known Governor Kawira. We served together in the National Assembly in 2 committees of House Business and ICT, and I'm sure that this is a learning point. She will have an opportunity to read the report, and some of the flaws that were noted, she will be able to improve and be a better governor. Thank you very much, the committee, for a wonderful job.
Senator Oroba Gloria.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very delighted to be in this house today. And it is wise that you have given us an opportunity to offer words of wisdom for future impeachment motions or opportunities like this. First of all, I want to say, Your Excellency, Governor Kawira, because Your Excellency, you are a governor. You are elected under an independent ticket. You trounced very powerful veteran men, and you should hold your head up high. And we should learn to address people with their right titles, even as we go through all types of motions. Mr. Speaker, allow me just to say that because the governor is seated here, and I feel as though, as much as this is a learning moment, it should not be a moment to bring you down as an elected governor and an independent ticket. I want to say, as we are looking at impeachments in future, we also have to look at the Bills of Rights. And under the Bills of Rights, we have equality and freedom from discrimination, such that when the motions are being brought to the House, it should be about devolution. It should be about following the law, the Constitution, and not about how assertive someone is, or how passionate someone is, or how firm someone is, but whether or not they have defied the Constitution, whether or not they have actually gone, there is grounds for removal from office. It should not be about whether you like how someone looks or how they do not look, because, Mr. Speaker, as women in this House, sometimes we can be misconstrued. Our walking styles might be misconstrued, but those are not grounds of impeachment. So for the future, and for the future of devolution, let us try and stick to the grounds of removal, which is gross violation.
Your time is over, Senator Gloria. Kindly take your seat. Kindly take your seat. Senator Margaret Kamar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. These 2 minutes would not have been enough for us to congratulate the committee and to congratulate Her Excellency Kawira Mwangaza. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the committee. When we talked to them as they were formed, we really requested them to be fair and to be seen to be fair, to be honest in their dealings. We told them that we would like Kenyans to see the integrity of this House, and they have done it. Congratulations, our committee, and we really appreciate you. Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate Her Excellency the Governor for the way she handled herself, with a lot of decorum, speaking nothing but the truth. I want to tell my brother, my chair of education, that pastors have only one truth. It is the truth. So there is no way you can dodge the truth so that you can say another truth when you are talking to MCAs and another truth when you are talking to leaders. So I congratulate her for standing firmly on nothing but the truth. Mr. Speaker, I came all the way from Eldoret driving because when you called us, there were no flights from Eldoret. And the reason I came is because the governor was elected by 209,148 people of Meru. And I told myself, in 2 months, a very enthusiastic county assembly has discovered the faults that the people of Meru never discovered. And I was very concerned. I wanted to listen to what our committee has done, and that's why I say congrats to our committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We wish you all the best, and we'll discuss the issue of gender later because it came up during our discussion.
Honorable Sigay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You have indicated that we make comments on what wise men would make. And I want to congratulate the committee chaired by the Honorable Senator Boni Halwale for a good job well done. I believe in the fullness of time we shall have to also interrogate beyond the findings of the substantiation or non-substantiation of the matter that has been before this House. But, Mr. Speaker, going into the future, I do think that we might have, in a matter of impeachment, the option or the opportunity to be granted in terms of timing, which is a very key issue, as to at what point can a governor who's been elected into office be available for impeachment. And secondly, if and when a report has been taken by a house, like in this case, do we just, as a house which we have said we are bound by the committee report, just have it that way? I think going into the future, we might have to look at an opportunity where the House can interrogate beyond the report that has been presented by the special committee that has been selected. Mr. Speaker, I once again thank the committee for the job that they've done, and wish this House and the Honorable Governor and her team, and together with the people of Meru, Merry Happy New Year and happy festivities. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I take this opportunity to congratulate the committee and the leadership of my friend, Senator Boni Alwale, the bullfighter. Actually, you have done us proud. Thank you so, so much. We followed the proceedings and you did a marvelous job. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to really also thank the Kenyans who elected and the Meru people who elected Her Excellency Governor Kawira. I'm happy as a women leader that we have retained the number of female governors, and I urge Kenyans in future to elect more women, because this is a route to achieve actualization of the 2/3 gender rule. To Governor Kawira, Her Excellency, I know she's a woman of God. She has learned her lessons and should do a fantastic job for people of Meru. Otherwise, thank you, our committee. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kenyans. Thank you.
Senator Karen Nyamu.
Thank